selected Vikings, Texans. The Vikings don't give a shit. They'll take anybody. They'll take on anybody with Sam Darnold. They are willing to get it done. Domination, pure domination from start to finish. There were good games. There were other good games, but this one was... The Vikings are good. This one was very telling, even though the first two games they have played just as well. But we will start on Thursday and review. This will be quick. This will be really quick. Pats, Jets 24-3. It was a bad game. It was a really bad game. The Patriots offensive line reminded us that they are just as bad as they were last year. Brissett did not play well, but his whole line sucks, so can't really blame him in terms of the scoring plays. The Jets scored, and then the Jets scored, and then the Jets scored 4 scores. Alan Lazard touchdown, Breece Hall touchdown, Joey Sly field goal for the Pats, Garrett Wilson called one, and one field goal in the fourth, 24-3. Vintage Aaron Rodgers. Kind of a crazy game from him, but yeah, he's just as good as ever, and that is pretty clear. So they dominated Thursday night. It was rough to watch, but I did force myself. But the Browns and the Giants were my first disappointment of the day. This day was awful. I'm telling you, my picks were bad. We are 3-10. This was a horrible week. First 2 weeks I did pretty well. This week, absolutely awful. I thought the Browns would beat the Giants, and the Giants look pretty good. Giants, what's crazy is the Browns, they had the weird kickoff thing at the beginning, and then they scored instantly. And so that was it. They only had one other touchdown. Amari Cooper had 2 touchdowns. So they got like one lucky touchdown early in the game, and that's the only reason they were able to even stay in this. But Giants scored. Singletary ran one in second quarter. Malik Neighbors, 2 different touchdown passes within 2 minutes, going into half 21-7. And then, Cooper had something later in the fourth. But yeah, the Browns were pretty bad. Even the defense, they let Daniel Jones cook a little bit too much over there. But solid game from him. 236, 2 TDs. Singletary, 65 yards and a touchdown. Malik Neighbors, 8 catches, 78 yards, 2 TDs. And the Browns, Amari Cooper, he was really good. 7 catches, 86 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jerome Ford, 30 yards receiving, 30 yards rushing. Watson, 21 for 37, 196, 2 TDs. Not bad for his standards these days, but not enough to get it done. That's for sure. Giants had a nice win, but the Browns are, oh boy, they are not good. They are not good. The defense is not winning them games like they did last year. And a team like the Giants, they should be able to fight them off. It was pretty disappointing, but the next one, I did get this one correct. The funny thing is, when I saw this one finish, I actually misread the score, and I thought the Titans had beat the Packers 30-14, and I was like, wait, what? I thought I misread it, the score originally, but it turns out I misread the final score. The Packers won. I was very confused, but then I figured out that I was confused, and I selected the Packers to win this one, luckily, and they are able to get to 2-1. Titans are now at 0-3. Will Levis, some good plays, some bad plays, but 30-14, the Packers kind of dominated. But Malik Willis actually ran one into the first quarter. Then Nick Vinette caught one from Will Levis. Packers field goal. Jair Alexander, 35-yard pick six. So that was pretty big to end the first quarter. They're up 17-7. They got a field goal, 20-7 going into half. Manuel Wilson, TD from Willis. DeAndre Hopkins got one from Levis. So they're still in range going into the fourth, but they couldn't get anything done. Packers got another field goal, closed that one out. So Packers are 2-1 2-1, doing pretty well without Jordan Love. It's kind of nuts. But yeah. And then, yeah, Malik Willis, I guess. I love it after the game. I guess they asked him, well, was it nice to beat the team that traded you? And he was like, all wins count the same, I like that. I guess earlier in the week he said something like, the Titans, they paid me the whole time I was there, so like he's got no hate for the Titans, even though they traded him. He's like, hey, they paid me, they drafted me, like they did all this for me, so seems like a decent dude. But we head on to the next one. I'm sure it's one I got wrong. Wait, no, look at this. This was a excellent prediction by a genius like me. Colts over the Bears. I said it. Yeah, the Bears just offensively, I haven't seen enough, but 360 yards, a lot of passes, 3-3 for 52 for Caleb Williams, but 363 yards, 2 TDs, 2 picks. And the funny thing is, Richardson did not look good at all. 10 for 20, 167 yards, no TDs, 2 picks. But Jonathan Taylor, huge day for him. 23 carries, 110, 2 TDs. Trey Sermon ran one in. Alec Pierce had 1 big catch. That was it. Roma Dunze, 6 catches, 112, 1 TD. Cole Kmet, 10 for 97 yards and a TD. So big day for him. Not much rushing for the Bears, but yeah, solid game for the Colts. Really trying to get their first win of the year. But Taylor ran one in. Bears got a field goal. Sermon ran one in. Actually, that was, the first half was 7-0, so that was third quarter, 14-3, and then Adunze caught one. They went for 2, tried to cut it to 3, and Colts scored next possession. It was another JTTD. Yes, there we go. And then Cole Kmet got one a little later, cut the lead down, but the Colts were able to run the clock out. But yeah, they had a big-time interception, and worked out well. So nice win for the Colts. Both teams there, 1-2. This next one, man, I had Texans over Vikings. This is rough. That's why I got the Vikings here today, because they absolutely dominated. It was a pretty good domination by the Vikings. 3-0. 3-0, first time since 2016 for them, and Sam Darnold, solid day for him for sure. Justin Jefferson, first touchdown. Aaron Jones gets a pass. Darnold has 2 TDs in the first quarter, not much in the second quarter. We get to the second half. Jalen Naylor, touchdown. Darnold has put on a clinic out here. Cam Akers did get one from Stroud. Going to the fourth, 21-7. Vikings field goal. Johnny Munt catches one from Darnold, and then another Vikings field goal, 34-7. Absolute domination. Like I said, they just, from start to finish, the Texans did not show up to this one, but Sam Darnold, 17 for 28, 181 yards, 4 TDs. Good stuff right there. Aaron Jones got over 100 yards, 46 yards receiving, and a touchdown. Jefferson had 6 for 81 and a touchdown. Jalen Naylor, 3 for 31 and a touchdown. As long as Johnny Munt on the Texans side, not much going with the run game. CJ Stroud, 215, 1 TD, 2 picks. Maybe you shouldn't be giving advice to Caleb Williams, but no, I'm just joking. Stephon Diggs, 10 catches, 94 yards. Nico was 4 for 86. Tank was 5 for 62, so just not their best day. Offensively, that's for sure. Rough one for the Texans, but they're 2-1. I think they'll be just fine. But I'll have to regroup a little bit after that beatdown. This one, the Saints, man, I really feel like they blew this one. I thought they should have won it, but I guess that doesn't really matter. Yeah, Saints, first quarter, field goal. All of a sudden you get to the fourth and you're like, oh my god, it's still 3-0. Like, you're joking, right? It can't be 3-0. But Barkley says, no, I'm not joking, but 7-3 now. It's 7-3, ran one in. Saints, field goal, because they just wanted to keep it super close. But then they get a drive, end of the game, 2 minutes left. Chris Olave touchdown. And, man, just had a bad feeling. Eagles were going to find a way, and they did. They actually scored very quickly. Saquon Barkley, 2 TD day. What a day from him. Eagles get the dub 15-12. They're 2-1, same as the Saints. Hey, CJ Gardner-Johnson. He says Saints they're what we call not contenders. They're pretenders. They certainly proved that right today, for sure. But Jalen Hurts, 29 for 38, 311 yards. One pick, no TDs though. Barkley, 147 yards and a TD. Dallas Goedert, crazy day for him, 10 catches, 170 yards. Devontae Smith, 7 catches, 79 yards. He had that vicious hit that got him injured. That was a dirty play. Refs got to stop that one. Refs got to blow the whistle on that one. That was pretty bad. But yeah, for the Saints, Olave, 6 for 86 and a TD. Kamara had 87 yards on the ground. 3 catches for 40 receiving. Carr was not like those first 2 games, that's for sure. 14 for 25, 142 yards, a TD, and 1 pick. So, yeah, I picked the Saints on that one. Of course, the Eagles got the dub. Yet another loss in my book for this week. And we continue. We continue with the losses. The Chargers, I picked them to win, picked them to beat the Steelers. And, well, I have a good excuse for this one. This is easy. Justin Herbert was injured. Yes, I'm going to go with that excuse. I will play that card. I would have been right if that didn't happen. It's not my fault. I take no responsibility. But Quentin Johnston, what a year he's having. Year 2. The sophomore stardom, I guess. 27-yard TD for him. Chargers had the lead. First quarter, Justin Fields ran one in. Chargers field goal. They're leading at the half. Steelers field goal. Steelers field goal in the 4th. Calvin Austin, 55-yard bomb from Justin Fields. Puts him up 20-10. It's pretty much over the moment Justin Herbert went down. But Taylor Heineke came in. He actually went 2 for 2. But not a day for the Chargers. Definitely not a day. But Quentin Johnston, 44 yards and a TD. Fields, 245, a touchdown, a pick. And 6 yards rushing, but he did run one in as well. But yeah, Calvin Austin, 4 catches, 95 yards and a touchdown. Solid stuff from him, for sure. So, Steelers and Vikings are the undefeated 3-0 teams. How about that? You gotta love football. You gotta love football. If I could predict this stuff, it wouldn't be any fun. Well, if I could predict this stuff, somebody would be paying me for it, but it also wouldn't be fun, like I said. But yeah, on to another loss. The Buccaneers, yeah, they got blown out. They got blown out by the Broncos, who have looked horrible the entire year. They got off to a great start. 2 touchdowns right away. Bo Nix ran one in after a nice drive. Jaleel McLaughlin ran one in after the turnover. And 14-0 just like that in the first. Then they get a field goal, 17-0. Then finally, Buccaneers got on the board. Chris Godwin TD, but that was it. That was it in the second quarter. Broncos get a field goal, 20-7 at half, and then 2 field goals in the 4th for the Broncos, 26-7. You got the Buccaneers. You got the who else? Buccaneers offense, after looking so good the first 2 weeks, just like the Saints, all of a sudden, boom. Not what we've seen, not what we got used to this first 2 weeks, but that's why it's the early season. Teams are now adjusting, and it can be fluky, but Bo Nix, 216, no TDs, no picks, 47 yards rushing, ran one in. Cortland Sutton, 7 for 68. Chris Godwin, 6 for 53 and a touchdown. Bucky Irving had 70 yards rushing. It seems like Rachaad White's already lost the starting role there. That's interesting. But Baker, 163 yards, 1 TD, 1 pick. Not a special day for him, that's for sure. But that's alright. Not my only loss. Let's keep it going. Into the 4 o'clock games. Raiders, Panthers. God damn it. How bad is Bryce Young? Maybe it's the Raiders. It honestly could be the Raiders. Are the Raiders this bad? Are they this bad? Maybe they are. Maybe the Panthers are way better when Bryce Young does not step on the field. I don't know. We're going to find out. But this Panthers team just showing like, hey, we're not as bad as we look. It's literally one guy's fault. It's one dude. Just get him out of there. They did. Andy Dalton, good game. He played pretty well. Threw his first one to Chuba Hubbard. Raiders tied it up though. Madison touchdown. Deontay Johnson. He scored. Thielen scored and then got injured. 2 field goals in the third quarter and 27-7 going into the fourth. Miles Sanders runs one in. Jacoby Myers 13-yard pass from Gardner Minshew. Panthers field goal. And then Trey Tucker caught one from Aiden O'Connell at the end of the game. So get some garbage time reps in there for the Raiders. But disappointing game for them. They fall to 1-2. Panthers first win of the season. They are 1-2 now, but Andy Dalton 319 yards and 3 TDs just shows you why he's been in the league for 14 years. Really talented QB, just no longer a starting caliber, but he's a pretty good backup, and he showed that today. So yeah, Hubert got over 114 yards. Deontay Johnson had 122 yards and a TD. But yeah, incredible stuff. That's the National Football League. Worst team in the league can dominate anybody at any time. Sometimes it feels like that, but no, it's not actually that. Raiders just aren't that good either, so it's a little combination of the both. But finally, one I did get picked correctly, the Seahawks. I picked the Seahawks over the Miami Dolphins, and this one was weird. Crazy first quarter. Seahawks field goal, 56-yarder. From Jason Myers. Zach Charbonnet ran one in after a drive. Dolphins had a field goal. DK Metcalf, 71-yard TD at the end of the first quarter. So 17-3 end of the first quarter. The next score is in the fourth quarter. Zach Charbonnet, 5 minutes left in the game. He scores. So he gets his second touchdown of the day. And the Seahawks get a 24-3 victory. They are 3-0. That is crazy. Seahawks, Vikings, and Steelers are the teams starting the year off hot. That is crazy. The Dolphins, Skylar Thompson, he's not very good. Poor guy even gets injured. And Tim Boyle comes in and actually made a couple decent throws, but he's nothing good. But Geno Smith, solid game. Did have 2 picks, but other than that, he had a TD, 289 yards. He was pretty solid. Charbonnet, 91 yards, 2 TDs. DK, 4 for 104 and a touchdown. Noah Fant, 6 catches for 60 as well. So Dolphins, they couldn't run the ball, they couldn't throw the ball, and that's that. They definitely missed Tua. Although last time he played, he had 3 picks too. So I don't know what the Dolphins miss right now, because things seem to be going pretty normal for the last 20 years this year, as they are all these past years. But yeah, got that one right. Seahawks got it. This one, I had the Cowboys getting a bounce back win. That was a joke. Ravens pretty much dominated. The Cowboys made a nice run in the fourth quarter, but wasn't enough. Was not enough, unfortunately. So 19 though. They had 6 points going into the fourth, and they were able to get 19. But yeah, Lamar, 9-yard run. Cowboys field goal. Derrick Henry, 1-yard touchdown. Second quarter, Bateman had a touchdown. Aubrey, 51-yarder. Yeah, actually the first field goal he had, Brandon Aubrey, was 65-yarder and a 51-yarder. That's crazy. But yeah, 21-6. Derrick Henry had another run, so crazy Derrick Henry game. But yeah, get to the fourth. Dak, he ran one in, threw one to Tolbert, threw one to Turpin. But they failed that 2-point conversion twice there, that's pretty brutal. That's pretty brutal if you think about it. Although they had to get one of them. They had to get one, and they couldn't do it. But yeah, 28-25. Ravens get their first win of the year. Both teams are 1-2 in terms of stats. Lamar, 182 and a touchdown. 87 yards rushing and a touchdown. Derrick Henry, 151 yards and 2 TDs. Aguilar had a 50-yard catch. Bateman had a touchdown. Dak, 2 TDs. Andy ran one in. Jake Ferguson, 6 for 95. CD, 4 for 67. Turpin and Tolbert both caught him. But yeah, another tough loss for the Cowboys. But they'll be fine. Possibly. I don't know. They'll be fine, right? They just paid a bunch of guys a lot of money. They should be good, right? Speaking of not good, the 49ers. What the hell? That's how weird this weekend was, alright? It wasn't even my fault. The 49ers had that game, alright? They blew it. That one was crazy. What a comeback, though. What a comeback for the Rams. I couldn't believe it. That's pretty surprising. I thought the Niners had like a comfortable lead the whole time, and Juwan Jennings was just lighting it up out there, so I thought they were fine. But he had two touchdowns in the first quarter. Kyron Williams scored in the second, so 14-7 at the half. Juwan Jennings' third touchdown in the third quarter, so 21-7. Kyron Williams runs one in, so he's hanging with him. He's hanging. Jake Moody field goal. Rams field goal. Kyron Williams runs in a third. He goes word for word, bar for bar with Juwan Jennings. And Rams, they scored. Minute 51 left, ended up getting the ball back. Ended up getting a field goal. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. Juwan Jennings goes off. Kyron Williams says, "Quiet down, buddy. Quiet down." And it's crazy. In the preview video, I was like, the Rams, they always have good games with the Niners, it feels like, but that's not going to happen this year. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. The Rams. I can't believe the Rams get their first win and deliver when it looks like all hope is lost, all the injuries and stuff, but just funny stuff. Stafford, 221 yards and a TD. Kyron had 89 yards, 2 TDs. Tutu Atwell, 4 catches for 93 yards. And Kyron caught one as well because he had 3 total. But Juwan Jennings, 11 catches, 175 yards, 3 touchdowns. Crazy stuff. Jordan Mason, 77 yards. Brock Purdy, 292, 3 TDs, no picks. So he was pretty good. Juwan Jennings was pretty good. They still lost. Ended up being the defense. But yeah, that's crazy. What an ending. What an ending. But yeah, of course, another one I got wrong, and it doesn't end. The Cardinals, I believed in the Cardinals. I thought they would have a nice little breakout game here, take down the Lions. Turns out the Lions are, they're able to just continue playing good football. And Montgomery, he looks really good. Gibbs looks really good. St. Brown looks really good. They all scored today. Cardinals, they got Marvin Harrison Jr., but that's it for now. That's it. They need a little bit more than that. But Montgomery scored. MHJ scored. 7-7. Lions touchdown. Missed the extra point. Amon-Ra St. Brown scored. Jahmyr Gibbs scored. And then Cardinals get a field goal at the end of the half. So 20-10 going into the half. And then that was most of it. Going into the fourth, you had a late field goal by the Cardinals, but not much going on in the second half in terms of scoring. So solid win for the Lions, keeps them at 2-1. Cardinals, they played well. They showed that they can kind of hang with anybody this year. So it's pretty good for them. But Kyler, 207, 1 pick, 1 TD, 45 yards rushing. James Conner, a little bit of a disappointing game from him. I needed him in fantasy, and he did not deliver. That's okay. Harrison Jr., 64 yards and a TD. St. Brown, 75 yards and TD. Jahmyr Gibbs, he caught a touchdown. Montgomery, 105 yards and a touchdown. Running. Goff was 18 for 23, 199, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks, so 20-3. Solid win for the Lions. Definitely could have been trouble, but that's it. That is it for the Sunday daytime games. I guess we got the Chiefs and the Falcons. They just started. 13 minutes left in the first quarter. Like I said, just started. But I got this video, the new Sunday review video. What do you think about it? Do you like it? Do you appreciate it? Not going to be able to talk about the Sunday night game at all, but we will hear about that in tomorrow's video. So, no worries there. But yeah, I was 3 for 10 today. This was definitely not my day. But that's alright, you can't win them all. Like I said, if I was good at predicting these things, there would be cash involved, alright? And number two, if I was good at predicting these things, it wouldn't be any fun. Alright, that's my excuse for being so